Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I guess it's been a minute since I've been on here. I had, we all had the holidays over the past couple weeks. And then I had a last minute photo shoot with a NHL team last week. And I should have some behind the scenes, or a behind the scenes video from that shoot coming out in the next week or two. Depending on my schedule, because I'm supposed to be back on the road next week for another shoot. So I'll have that out probably about the time the season starts for the NHL. So if that's something you're interested in and you're not already subscribed, hit that button down there, and hopefully we'll have that out, like I said, in a week or two. And I've also got plenty of other behind the scenes videos that fortunately we were able to get done toward the tail end of last year. And speaking of photo shoots, what I thought I would do is go through my gear bag that I'm going to use probably for the rest of 2021. It is one thing I changed a lot in over the last year, so in 2020. So this should be my kit for the rest of this year. So what I thought I would do, I still had it kind of packed up from last week's shoot. So I just thought I would kind of unload it here and run through everything and why it's in there, and maybe some alternatives to some of the stuff that I have in there based off of what your needs might be. But here it is. As you can see, it's pretty heavy. So why don't we unzip this bad boy and just kind of run through, like I said, everything in here after we roll that intro. All right, welcome back. So if you've watched this channel or followed this channel way back in, I guess, March or April of last year, I actually did a kind of an unboxing of this bag, which I ordered about this, well, actually probably a little over a year ago on the Kickstarter website. So it has turned into kind of my go-to bag right now. This is obviously the Mckinnon Bag. This thing is built like a tank. There's no complaints on build, really no complaints on the bag at all. It's got everything you can think of in a bag. The only drawback for my type of work, and I guess my comfort level, is the size of the bag and traveling when it comes to airplanes. This is like a 40-liter bag, I believe, and when I fly on an airplane, and some of you have probably, with my gear, and some of you probably can relate to this, I like to have my gear with me, and that's the cameras, lenses, and all that type of thing. So if I'm traveling with a light case, I'm fine with checking that, and hopefully if it doesn't make it to our destination, there's some rental options there. But I always like to have my cameras with me. I don't want anything, I do have it insured, but it's just a peace of mind type of thing. And when you're boarding an airplane, if you don't get to your flight early enough, sometimes overhead storage is full and they will make you check your bag, and that's also a no-go for me with my camera. So I like to have a smaller bag, like a 20-liter bag, which I can, if need be, I can slide underneath the seat in front of me. And so that just relieves all of that anxiety, pre-flight anxiety about having my cameras with me. And this bag is too big to do that. So for what we've been going through lately, which is not much flying, for me at least, not any flying right now to jobs. So I've been able to pack this, travel, drive with it, and the size of it doesn't really matter. If anything, it's a luxury because I can put more stuff in here than I probably need, and it just gives me that extra peace of mind that I've got it all here with me. And that being said, this bag, you can still fit more in this bag than I do. I keep it strictly for gear, but you've got a whole nother side to it where you can put clothes and all that type of thing in here and basically live out of this bag. But just with gear alone, for me, it's heavy enough. I usually carry or have a roll bag with me that I keep my clothes and stuff in. So I strictly use this for gear, and that fits my workflow and work lifestyle. And if you've got the money, obviously there are cheaper options on the market, but if that's the type of work you do, and this would fit into that type of flow, I can't recommend this bag enough. It fills and checks all those boxes. So with all that being said, let's kind of get into it. And my old bag was a Low Pro, which actually zipped on the outside. So it took me a minute to figure out, or to get used to unzipping on the strap side. But anyway, that's another aside that I don't need to get into. But I'll tell you what, one thing, just as I have it here, an underrated aspect of a bag is to be able to sit it down and have it not fall over. And this bag does a great job. When it's fully packed and all, I can set it like this and walk away, and it's gonna stay upright and not topple over, fall over, that type of thing. So that is another good point about this bag, is it has the ability to stay upright even when I have it fully loaded out. All right, so let's get into it. And sorry if I leave the camera here, and I'll probably roll some B-roll shots of this, because it's it's pretty big on this camera angle. Another just aspect of this bag are these great zippers. I mentioned some of this in my initial look at this, but I've been using this for almost a year now, and really no complaints. All right, so let me work this side of the zipper, and pardon me if I'm looking up at the monitor during some of this, just to make sure I'm in frame. But so we'll open. As we open up here, you can see the bulk of my kit here is, I've got two Canon EOS R5 bodies that I use on my shoots. One is my main camera, and then one is a backup in case something happens to my main camera. And in the past, I've gone over the importance of having backups, legit backups during your photo shoots in case something does happen. So we won't get into all that. So I've got one camera body here. This is what I just said, the R5, and I've got the 24 to 72.8 on the camera itself, along with the battery grip. And so when I'm working, like the job last week, NHL, I'm shooting horizontal portraits and I'm shooting vertical. So this grip is a must for that type of workflow for what I do. And so it's, I keep it on one of the cameras. I only got one this go around, and so I can just take that, and if something happens to this body, and hopefully move it over here. If something happens to that grip, I'm not losing anything as I was with the Nikon. My frames per second would drop on that Nikon if I was shooting any action sequences. So I don't lose anything by taking the grip off, so I've only got one grip, and that's mainly for ergonomics of switching the camera profile. We'll go from the packets here, or pouches on this end. I just got camera, body cap, lens cap, an extra one, or one to kind of go with these in case I need to move these around or something happens, and I've just got these in my bag. Neat thing is these screw together. Sometimes I'll bring two sets of those. In this next pouch, I've got just your kind of generic lens cleaning gear. This was big during the Navy shoot, or at the beginning of the Navy shoot with the rain that we were having, until I just kind of gave up. But lens cloth, cleaning, all that type of thing, little air pumper here. And so all that is in this top pouch, or pouch on the top. I've got my color checker. I prefer to travel with the small one for obvious reasons. There are different sizes of these. This pocket one works great. You've got all your colors here. I got scolded for touching the colors on one of my earlier videos, so I'm gonna do my best not to touch them. So you got your gray cards and stuff on one side, and then your color charts on this side. So this is the, I've got the box here to show, but this is the Passport Photo 2 color checker. And like I said, I like it for the size. I can slide it in this bag. I can have someone hold it on set, get my white balance and color checked as closely as possible. Along with that, last thing in this pouch, card reader. So I've got the CF Express and the SD dual card reader here, and this is a Wise, and I've got another brand too that I also use. And this top pouch, which I think is more designed for like an iPad, but what I do is put my tethering cables in the top pouch there. So 2 tethering cables. These are from Tether Tools. The best cables that I've come across. They just now came out a couple weeks ago with the right angle hook up to your camera, which makes the profile so much slimmer than when it comes straight out in the straight connection. So this right angle, there were some other companies that had already come out with those, and I gave one a try, and it lasted maybe 2 shoots. So these guys are pretty bulletproof. I always have a backup though, so 2 of these in the top of my bag. Put those back. So we kind of went through the cameras. On the cameras, I'll go ahead and run through this too, are these Peak Design anchors, I believe they call them. I've got a pack here. So they come in these little packs, and then this kind of is the introduction to the Peak Design ecosystem. So with these anchors, you can use their straps, which are great, and they kind of just clip right in to these straps, and you can clip them in and out really quickly. So when I've got work where I need to walk around or move around with my camera a lot, this is my default kind of go-to system. They also have the adapters on the base, which goes with the tripod that we'll get to in a minute, and you can have them for these holsters. So another job I had, I guess back in November, I needed both cameras with the 2 different focal lengths. So I had this on my hip with one of the cameras, and then I had the other on the strap. And so basically, these anchors are always on my cameras. So just another kind of side note there. All right, so we got that. We got one lens. The other body, get this out of the way. Other body, I've got the 70 to 200 f2.8 lens. This is for when I need to reach out a little bit further. Just kind of part of the triad of lenses with the 24 to 70, 70 to 200, and then right here I've got the 15 to 35 f2.8. So when I need to go wide, this is what I've got in that case. And this one came in handy when I was up in the at the Naval Academy I guess it's probably about a month or 2 ago now, and we did some interiors with that lens. And I actually used all 3 lenses. I had to use the 70-200 for some of that work as well, and then all the studio type stuff, we use the 24-70. I've also got the 85 f2. I haven't used this commercially just yet. I have used it for some still life type stuff because it's a macro as well. And so I'm looking forward to putting this to work when I get the chance on set for more portrait type work. This is kind of my backup lens here, the 24 to 105 f4, or kind of everyday. I guess not in this case, but for most people, this would be kind of your everyday lens. It's a fantastic lens. I've talked about it here in previous videos, and it works fine. It also, in those photo shoots where I know I might need a little extra range, and the f4, the aperture isn't good. If I don't need to stop all the way down on the aperture, this lens is lighter than this guy here, and also I get that extra reach. So it's a great option here. And if something happens to this lens where it's not working, I can use this as a backup, and also it kind of bridges the gap here with the 24-70 to 70-200. So it's just a good safety net lens that I have in here. Right here in this little pocket, I've got a battery charger. Sometimes I'll bring 2 of these based off of what projection of shooting is going to be, and if I need to have access to 2 chargers where I need to kind of have rotating batteries. And then here is one of the SSD backup drives that I like to use. These are the Samsung. I think this is a T5 drive here. When you get these, and I'll have links to as much of this stuff as possible down below, and I've gotten these off Amazon. And then when you go to checkout on Amazon, they'll give you the option to get one of these cases. I think these cases are well worth the money. These little drives come with your USB-A to the USB-C cable and the C to C cable. And so this gives you a place to put all that. And it also gives some protection to your drive. So I always like to have one of these with me to back up the files off of my iMac or a laptop, depending on what I'm working off of. Another source of power I like to kind of bring, this is sometimes more just based off of what we're doing, but I've got just a brick of USB options here, or plugs here, and a cord to go with that. This is good sometimes to have on set. If you've got a lot of people working, a lot of agency people, your client or agency's clients are on set. Everybody, not so much in this day and age, maybe a couple years back, everybody was needing a phone charger. So that was one of the most frequent questions I would get on set. Do you have somewhere where I can charge my phone? It's just one of those things that you can have on set to accommodate whoever's there, and it just adds a little extra level of professionalism to what you're doing when you can, help somebody out, with something as simple as giving them access to charging their phone. All right, so moving forward, in here right now I've got the Mckinnon additions to the bag. So this is the memory card holder. It's a great little holder. So, and it slides right in here, and super nice when stuff's not flying out. Usually that doesn't happen. But anyway, I'm using this guy, and there's a battery compartment one as well that goes with this backpack. But if you don't have this backpack, I also have some options from Think Tank Photo. I'd use this as well. This is their 4 battery charger, so the same type thing as this battery case. They just slide right in here, and this gives you the ability to bring 4 batteries with you, and it actually works right. I mean, the same as this here. And then I've got another little 2 battery. I don't know if they even make these anymore. But so I'm one of the photographers, or just another peace of mind for me is having probably more batteries than I need on set. So I just never want to have that kind of feeling in my head where I put my last battery in my camera and it's got to last a certain amount of time. That's just some anxiety that I can do without on set. So let's see here. Moving up, this is the filter case. So I kind of just keep this in here standard. It's got polarizers, stuff like that. If I need to do anything outdoors, I've also got variable NDs in here for when I do some video work. But all this kind of stays in here. This is a really nice option for storing those types of filters. So that's been kind of hard to find for me. I know there's some other products out there, but this is probably one of the nicest ones that I've come across. And it slides in here with the rest of the ecosystem. There's some other bags that came with this case which I don't really find myself using. There's like a drone bag and an everyday kind of a smaller camera attachment bag, which I'm just not using this bag for that reason. And then up here in this little nook, I've got my remotes for my ProPhoto lights. So a lot of, mainly I guess the change from last year's kit to this year's kit are the R5s and then all the Canon glass, which I've switched over from the Nikon system, basically replacing everything I had before and converting it over to Canon. So that was a big change from last year. All right, one more addition here, which I'll go through, is speaking of, we talked about the other Peak Design stuff with these anchors on the cameras. And then I also have their tripod, travel tripod. This is the aluminum version. It's a little less expensive than the graphite. This is obviously not a cheap tripod, but in my mind, for my setup here, this is kind of a just-in-case type of tripod. I'm not going out in some iffy locations and shooting landscapes, long exposures and stuff like that, where I might feel more comfortable with a larger tripod. But this guy right here, I did shoot some longer exposure type interiors with the 15 to 35 lens at the naval shoot, and this guy worked great. They are pricey, but you will not, I don't think, find a more compact tripod, and it works, fantastically. Just sliding right into this side pocket and getting him strapped in with that little strap there. So that's basically a run through of my camera kit for 2021, I would think. I don't really see much I'm gonna change on the photo end of things. Video, I'll probably have another kit to go along with this one, because usually you're shooting a combination of photo and video when I'm asked to do video. So I just thought I would start this year off with what I'm gonna be using, what's gonna get me through 2021, hopefully. It's a crazy world out there right now. So hopefully y'all found that kind of interesting. If you're into gear, wondering what I use for my jobs, that's basically it right there on the capture end of things. One more little thing. Where is... For my behind the scenes footage that hopefully I'm gonna be shooting more and more of, I put this rig together, which is, I was able to, on a Black Friday, I believe, I found a pretty amazing deal on this EOS M6 Mark II, I believe, with the kit lens. And this is just one of the Movi little mics that you can hook onto the side. I've got a small rig, mini adapter here with Arca Swiss plate, and it's got a cold shoe that I can stick that mic on if I want to record some audio with that. So I used this last week on the NHL shoot, and I've used it and a couple other ones that I just haven't talked about. But this is just this little small rig tripod right here is a great little tool. And so I just thought I would show this because it's kind of become part of my kit, trying to live this YouTube lifestyle and recording the work I do commercially on set. So that's about it for this type of gear and what I use on my commercial photo shoots and what I'm using to record myself on these commercial photo shoots. And so if you found this video worthy, please give it that thumbs up. That helps promote this channel somewhat, I guess, within YouTube. If you want to see more content like this, and like I said, I've got a behind the scenes video coming from my latest shoot. Hopefully I have it out next week. If not, it'll be probably the week after. And if that's the type of content you want to see, hit that subscribe button down there and the little bell next to it so YouTube will let you know when I'm here. You can always find me on social media, Instagram and Twitter at QuantsPhoto. Y'all please stay safe and healthy out there. We're not quite through the woods with some of this health stuff, and obviously there's some other things going on which make me almost feel a little silly making gear videos, but it is what it is, and this is what I do, so here I am, and I hope to be here again in the next one.